everybody, and welcome to Storm Raids. And today I'm going to be talking about my March TBR. I am a co-host for March Mystery Madness, and so I'm super excited to have a whole slew of books on here that are mysteries, thrillers, things like that to read. I'm going to call it my pile of possibilities because I've got way more books on here than I will get to, especially since I do have some other commitments that I need to do, like buddy reads, and I just have other like reading commitments and things like that that I need to do. So I have to kind of prioritize some of those. But I do have like a whole bunch of books that I would like to get to. We'll just see how it goes. I just pretty much went through some of my books and found books that were either on my Serious About Series list or were just in general books that I really wanted to read and try to fit into the 2x2 or doubles theme that we have going on for March Mystery Madness. It's hosted by a whole slew, a different host, and I will list them all below so that you can go and check out their TBRs and what they've got going on their channels, because I think everybody is going to have a little bit different things that they're going to be doing. I'm really curious to see how the other hosts are going to interpret the 2x2 theme that we have going on. So the first set I have are books that are from the same author and the same series. So that's how I'm doing like some of my 2x2s. And one of them is the Jack Reacher series by Lee Child. I'm going to start with book 1 and read book 1 and 2. So we got Killing Floor, and then the next one is Die Trying. And I'm also hosting like a group read for this one. So if you're interested in reading the Jack Reacher series and you've never tried it but you've always wanted to, here's a good time to jump on board and read this with a whole bunch of us. I will have a link in my Discord channel, so I will put my Discord down below so you can join it and you can join our buddy read. If for some reason you can't do Discord or you don't want to, please let me know and I will see if I can set up like another discussion area in like Goodreads. I think they have a March Mystery Madness Goodreads. So I don't want somebody to not do it just because they don't want to be on Discord. So, just let me know. So I have that. And I've wanted to read this for a long, long time. I've had it on my TBR forever. But they have that new TV series that came out. And so I want to give it a try so I can watch that show. Another long-running series that I have always wanted to try, but I have just never gotten around to it, is the Lucas Davenport series by John Sanford. And so I'm going to read Rules of Prey, which is the first book. And then I have Shadow Prey, which is the second one. And I know absolutely nothing about this series, really, except for that it's like, I think it's about a detective. And it's a crime, like, detective novels. And, I do believe, like, I seen there was a movie or whatever that was based on this, like this one movie, like a long time ago, and I seen that, but yeah, that's pretty much all I know about this series. And then it is also middle grade March, and I wanted to participate in that a little bit, but I'm not doing like their prompts. I'm just going to read some middle grade mysteries and kind of give a nod to middle grade March. And I can't remember exactly who all it's hosted by. I know it's Krista from Books and Jam and a couple of others, so I'll list them down below too, so you can go and check out middle grade March if that is something that you're interested in. But I have this little series here. It's by John Grisham, and it's Theodore Boone, Kid Lawyer. And so I actually have, I think there's 7 books in this series. So this is my chance to try it to see if I want to read all of them or not. And not that I'll be reading all of them like right now, but in the future. Theodore Boone, Kid Lawyer, and then the second book is Theodore Boone, The Abduction. And so I've always been kind of curious about this series, and I've had a couple of books on my shelves at one point in time, and then I think I might have got rid of them, but I seen like the whole series was like on sale at the library, and so I just grabbed the whole series. So hoping I'm going to like it. Another middle grade series that I'm really curious about trying, and that is Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library. And then the second one is Mr. Limoncello's Library Olympics by Chris Gravenstein. Now, Lee from Dark Roots Creations has read this series, and she liked it, and I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, it was a mystery, and she thought I would kind of like it, so I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so the next books that I have on my list are just little ways that I could fit some of the books that I wanted to read, and I didn't get very creative. I mean, really, I was really just trying to get books that I wanted to read on this list. Okay, so the first one I have here is The Cabinet of Curiosity by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. It's got 2 authors, so that's how I'm using that one. And it's also going to be a buddy read with my friend Breezy Ann and Jessica from Lady Love Said Reads. And I will link their channels down below. You should go check them out. They're like really cool. And then I have Wired in the Blood by Val McDermid. This is the second book in the Tony Hill and Carol Jordan series. I read the first one, I think it was called The Mermaid Sings, like a couple years ago, and I really liked it. I also really liked the TV show that's on Acorn TV that is based on this series, and always wanted to read the series, and then like I do a lot, I just read the first one, and then I never got to the other ones. So I'm really curious about continuing on with this series, and since I have this one already on my shelves, and it is the second book in a series, and it has double O's, so that's how I'm fitting it on my TBR. Then the next book I have is Homicide in Hardcover by Kate Carlisle, and it's the first book in the Bibliophile series, and I really wanted to read this one, and it's come in on my overdrive a couple times, and I keep scooting it back, but I really want to get to it. I'm really hoping that I'm going to enjoy this series. It is one of the series that's on my SAS list of new series to try this year, and so I'm using it for, there's an H in Homicide and an H in Hardcover, so it has like 2 words that start with H. That's how I'm going to use that one. Then I have Totally Pawstruck by Sophie Ryan. This is number 9 in the Second Chance Cat series. And so there's that, because it has second in it, but it's also a two-word title. And so I'm going to use it for that. And reading this one will have me caught up on this series, and I do want to keep caught up on it. The next one I have is The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan. And this is Mr. Francis from Mr. Francis Reads' favorite thriller. He talked about it last year, and I've been curious about it, and I wanted to try his favorite thriller. So I thought, well, it has the author name Rachel Ryan, so there is 2 R's in those names, and it also has the double O's in doors, so I can use it that way. I have no clue, as you can tell, what most of these books are about, and I didn't want to be on here too long explaining, so I just know that it was his favorite thriller, and I want to give it a try. Then I have Night Moves by Julie Mulhern, and it is a 2-word title, and this one is a book that I'm going to be reading for Skull on the cover, because one of the scavenger hunt picks that I need to get done in like the first week of March, I have to get this one done, which will be easy. I have it on audio, is had a skull on the cover, and so that's what I'm going to be using that for. And I thought, well, I can save it for March. It can be one of my ones with a 2-word title. So, and then I have Whose Body by Dorothy L. Sayre, and this is the first book in the Lord Peter Wimsey series. I've always wanted to try this series, and I am trying to use more books that I have on my shelves, and so it has a 2-word title, so I thought I could fit it in here and maybe get some older crime novels. And speaking of older crime novels, I'm going to join in on Janelle from Too Fond of Books buddy read that she has going on, and going to read The Breaking Point by Mary Roberts Reinhardt. It was published in 1922, so that's why she's going to use that one. And I've always been curious about this author, and so I thought this would be a good time to jump in and give it a try. Then I also have a couple of review books that I'm trying to fit in. And so I have Bear Witness by Lark O. Jensen. This one, of course, comes out in 2022. And I got this from Crooked Lane Books. And it's a 2-word title, so I thought it fit very well. It's a author I've never read before, but it's set in Alaska, and so I was really curious about that. So then the next one I have is The Night Shift by Alex Finley. This one I got for review as well, and I forgot to write where I got it, so I'll put it here. But it's the author's second book, so I thought that was cool. And you can also divide the page count by 2, so I thought that was kind of neat too. And then there is an Irish readathon happening, and I don't remember the 2 lovely ladies who are hosting it, so I will put their information down below as well. And so I really like Irish things, and I did not know about this Irish readathon until I just happened to come across it. And so I asked one of the ladies to maybe steer me in the way of a Irish author so that I could do a mystery from an Irish author. And they told me that Tana French was an Irish author. So I thought, hey, I've always wanted to try I think it's the Dublin Murder Squad or something like that. Always wanted to give it a try. So I am going to fit in Into the Woods by Tana French. And this one is just got the double O's. That's how I'm fitting it in here. And I've really enjoyed doing a lot of my retro romances, and I've just really been in a romance kind of mood, so I've decided to add a few Harlequin intrigue. Now, the intrigue are a little bit more, I believe, on the mystery than the romance. I think the romantic suspense has more romance than mystery. So I thought these fit in pretty well for the mystery. And so I have Expiration Date. So it's a 2-word title. It's by Amy Thurlow, and Amy has 2 E's on the end. You can't really see it. But this one is an older one. It is from, let's see, can't hardly see. It's from 1989, and it's number 109. And I just really like these old style of intrigue. Though the new ones are pretty cool, but I like the old ones. And then I also have Time and Tide by Eve Gladstone. And so I am using this one because it's got time and tide. So it's got 2 words that start with T. And this one came out in 94. And so it is a timeless love. And I do believe these are time travel intrigue. So I'm a little curious about the whole time travel thing. And then I have the Strong Silent Type. So I've got 2 words with S in it by Jewel McBride. And this one come out in 99, and it's very pretty and red. But yeah, don't know anything about them, but they were in my piles here, and I thought I could give them a try. And then I actually got a book for review from Harlequin Intrigue, and it's called Undercover Couple by Barb Hahn. And so I picked it out because it was a 2-word title. It fit. Just because I just needed me some romance on my list. There is also a GoodFellas Readathon happening in the month of March, hosted by my friend Lee from Dark Roots Creation, and I will put her information down below. And it's a bingo board. So I found one row that I could fit in books that I needed to read. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so one of the squares on there is called the 90s, and it was to read a book that's either set in the 90s or from the 90s. And so for that, I'm going to use Killing Floors, because it came out in 90, I think it's 97. So yeah, it came out in the 90s. So I'm going to use that. And then the middle square, she had it for crime drama. And you need to read a book that features a murder. And so I'm going to use Midnight Snacks Are Murder by Libby Klein. It is the second book in the Poppy McAllister series. So it fits in with March Mystery Madness because it's the second book in a series. And I'm also going to be buddy reading this with Mr. Francie from Mr. Francie Reads. And we are going to hold each other's hands because we're not sure. We didn't like the first one as much as we hoped to. And so we're hoping that we're going to enjoy the second one a little bit better. And so we're going to buddy read it together to see how it goes. Then the next square that I have is for a location. And it's to read a book that's either set in New York or New Jersey. And so the Cabinet of Curiosity by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child is set in Manhattan. So it's in New York. Then a readathon kind of crept up on me that I wasn't expecting, but since I am part of the magical readathon and everything, she's having a mini readathon, and we had to pick out a conduit and a legacy that goes with the guild that we are in. And we had done a readathon last year that you did this one and then you got to pick a guild at the end. And so this year will probably be our first official year of going to her school that she has set up for this magical readathon. But before that, she thought she would have us go through this little mini readathon. And so, yeah, so it's only 2 books, so it wasn't too bad. And I got lucky and I could put books that I actually have on my TBR. So thank goodness. But since I am part of the archivist and we had to pick a conduit, and we only had 2 choices for conduit, and it was either the pole arm or a bone. And so I picked the pole arm because it was to read a book that was over 400 pages, and Killing Floor is like 500 and some pages, and I think it's like 524, so it's a big whopper. And so I've got that. And then for my legacy is the archivist, their special thing is that they can call on a god or a goddess. And so I am going to have my legacy be the Goddess of Night and Nightmares. Kind of fits me anyway, I thought. And anyway, it is to read a book with night on it, or like a night scene on it, or night in the title. So I had 2 books on my reading list for that. I had Night Moves, and then I had the Night Shift. So I'm covered on that one. The only bad thing is we had to do this deal with our characters, and then I like totally forgot. And so because my character is 2 different things, it is a it's part air earthling, and I cannot pronounce the other one. Skyrim. Anyway, it's this other little creature. I had 4 prompts that I needed to do. I have done 2 of the prompts, so I am going to have to fit in here somehow 2 more books, which is the Society by Jody Andrisky or something like that. And I'm picking this because I need to read a book about dark academia, and I don't really have any dark academia books, but this one is Welcome to Trinity Academy, the best kept secret. So I'm thinking it's kind of like a dark academia. It doesn't have very good reviews on Goodreads, but I'm hoping I'll like it. And I found an audiobook for it, so I'm hoping to just slip this one in. And it kind of fits the theme, I think, of, like, you know, it's kind of a mystery because It's about a secret society of some sort and things, but we'll see. And then this book is getting a lot of use because the next one I needed to do was to read a book that has been on my TBR for the longest time, and so Killing Floor is for that. I could actually tell you what they were for. I didn't even think about that, but Dark Meadow is my province, and so I had to read a book for Dark Academia, and then my heritage and everything is the one, let's see, it's, I still can't remember, Sky Morn, or whatever is part of my heritage, because that's like one half of my character, and it was to read the oldest book that I have, because they're like an ancient kind of civilization or something like that. And so Killing Floor has been on my TBR for a very, very long time, so I'm going to go ahead with that. But that's not everything. I know. That's why I said my March Mystery Madness pile is really a pile of possibility. These other readathons are like, so the magical one especially is one that I have to have done. And the buddy reads I have to have done too. So buddy reads that I have is How to Speak Dragonese by Courtagonist, and that one will be super easy. I get it on audiobook, or, I mean, it's really small. It's the third book in the How to Train Your Dragon series that I'm buddy reading with Sherry, and here's book 2. I haven't got book 3 from the library yet, but, like, they're really small, and, I mean, the writing's, like, pretty big, so it'll be really super easy to get through. The audiobooks are usually about, like, less than 4 hours. Then I have White Hot by ILONA Andrews, and this is the second book in the Hidden Legacy series, and I am buddy reading this with my friend Barb, and she's being easy on me. I asked her if we could just buddy read one book this month, and I have really wanted to get on that second book after I read the first one in January, so I'm excited to get to that. And then, of course, I am buddy reading Midnight Snacks of Murder by Libby Klein, and then we are doing a group read-along in the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord, and so the first book is To Helvetica and Back by Paige Shelton, and so I'll need to do that. This one will be a re-listen for me, because I have listened to the whole trilogy like several years ago, and so I'm sure it won't be too hard to get through. I could probably speed it up and get through it, because I've already read it once before. I just need to kind of refresh my memory. Okay, so yeah, in total there are probably around 30 books on this TBR, which is why it's a pile of possibilities. There's only, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 7 or 8 on here that are like mandatory. I do need to make priority for. The rest of them are just going to be mood reading. If I feel like picking one up, if I feel like doing Bear Witness, I'm going to pick it up. If I feel like doing Whose Body, I'm going to pick it up. Kind of like that. So it's going to depend. I like to give myself a large TBR. That way I can pick and choose, because I am a pretty big mood reader, and I have a hard time sticking to TBRs. So if I give myself big enough leeway, I usually don't stray too far from the path. So we'll see how it goes. Because I do have other books that I could use. I had to narrow things down, because I had a couple other books on it, but I took them off to make room for other things. When I was making out my list, it was really hard to quit. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.